I had some time to listen to a program called Light Your Fire by Dan Winter, and I thought it played out very, it was tremendous watching him tie together all these aspects that I had learned separately. I thought was kind of amazing. I really recommend anybody that's working in this grid to take some time, go watch that video. He summarizes it all very nicely, and I think his technology is very interesting as well. The number one thing that he mentions in there that I caught is that, people want to sell you your salvation, and this grid is not that. I think it is set up for 0 point, and it will bring you to 0 point. But, as he so nicely puts it, you have to do the work, and you do have to work through, while that is set up there for you, you have to do the work, and what it's doing is creating a fairer. It's creating a new set of rules that's fair, that's designed to not work against you, but it is going to make it so you're now accountable for working on you. And so, but you should be more successful working in the grid. And I think one of the things that, because this process of self-development and this healing and transformation, and some people want to call it ascension, and whatever is on your list for yourself, that should be more successful working in this grid. And the reason is because you're not up against some of these impossible odds. You have frequencies hitting you, people's thoughts hitting you, people's emotions are hitting you. You have your own electronics that are affecting you, different energies within the earth. There's a lot of stuff going on the earth. There are different layers of things and beings and entities and all that stuff. It's just taken out of the equation as much as possible. Now, if you have taken things in, if you have things attached to you, if you have thoughts that you need to get in control of, that stuff is still you, and you're still going to have to work on that. You're going to have to work through those things. But you shouldn't be having new things. And that's where it becomes a fair playing ground, where now the rules of the game have changed. We're not being drained. We're not being impacted by stuff that's outside of us. Now we're just accountable for us. And so we need to work on us. And that element is great at an individual level. But I wanted to take it up one more level and create this community where we are all working not only individually, but together. I think there's kind of a known, I've heard a lot of people mention the 100th monkey rule, and that's great for the people that know about it. But I think what's important about this grid is that people will be buying the capstone, and when they receive that, the first thing they're going to do with that is get acclimated to this new energy, and then set their intention that the work that they're going to do for themselves, they're going to share that with the whole. And so it's not just about being in the morphic field that already operates that way, where it's all available to people all the time. It's not about the 100th monkey rule where, hey, maybe if we get enough people, we can change the way the world is going. It's an actual intention by the person that buys it, by the person that spends time working in it, the person that activates it. The minute they get that, they are making an active intention that all the work that they do is going to be shared into the grid, and that that's going to be made available to everyone else. So it stops being about each individual struggling, and it starts becoming a community of people that are actively working together at an individual level and at a shared community level. And that takes this whole thing up a notch, because it's an active intention that each participating individual that's joining this community is going to accelerate and accelerate and accelerate one another in this process. And so Well, my one hiccup with the grid is that it'd be awesome if this thing could just heal everybody, but we have accountability, we have sovereignty, and we have to do this work. So this makes something that still seemed kind of daunting. Now it's a shared effort, and it should be a smoother ride. I think it'll be an accelerated ride, and I really look forward to seeing how we can really propel humanity forward using this model. I think it will be exciting and fun, and it is like a technology. And people say, "Oh, you're working in the grid." It's like, oh, it's no different than a cell phone in a sense. I mean, it is a communication tool. It's another technology. Crystals hold information. That information is stored. It's shared. We're creating an actual grid. I'll be creating it across the world. The more people that get involved, the better. And we will be creating a new model where we're no longer feeding this machine. We're becoming a different and a new form of machine, a very intentional, loving machine. And I think I want to really reiterate that this programming is, again, it's very specifically designed to retain the individual sovereignty at all times. You can't be manipulated. The grids can't be manipulated. If somebody gets control of one of these, it can't be reverse engineered for something terrible. Very, very explicit protocols on this have been set up so that can't be done. And that is something that each individual will be reiterating when they sign into the grid and accept the intentions for it. There will be a list of statements, and people don't have to make all the statements if certain things don't feel good. They can just skip those. But it would be important to link into the shared healing effect. And I think it's important to understand that just sitting in the grid, you may gain some benefits, but it's really being actively engaged in that process that's going to produce the greatest results. And the grid will make it easier for you to succeed. And then sharing that there is a giving and receiving flow to the healing that occurs, and that will perpetuate and I think expedite each individual's healing efforts. So, but you can't just buy it and expect a miracle. It's not going to work like that. You're going to see some benefits from it no matter what. You should definitely see less manifesting of things you don't want. You should feel less impacted by energies around you. Those are just some benefits you should get right away. But you still need to do your own work. If somebody's emotions are triggering you, it may not be that you're feeling the emotions from them anymore, but what you are instead observing is your reaction to something they're doing, in which case that's an internal thing you need to work on within you. There is a distinction there. So we can get into the depths of that a little bit more. And but I wanted to explain how this technology is set up and why. So more to come.